Hey everybody, welcome. I am Aaron Hazuri, and I'm doing another drawing video today. My first drawing video, I think maybe I started a little bit ahead of where I should have. And as an art teacher, I try to remind myself to start with the basics. So I thought I would show you the very basics that I use every time I do a drawing, whether it's a drawing for fun or a drawing that I'm getting paid to do. And that is the secret of form. You probably all know what form is even before I tell you. Form is basically the three-dimensional version of shape. So shape is flat, like this, or like this, or like this. Form is the three-dimensional version. So that would be like a cube, or like a pyramid, or a sphere, which is hard to draw because it looks the same. But you can go like that to try to give it a little bit of depth. So I think before you try to draw anything, and it's not just me that thinks this, all the greats, all the masters, all the good teachers, all the great artists think the same way. I think the key to drawing anything that you want to draw, anything, whether it's, gosh, I don't know, a box or a desk lamp or a dinosaur or a Ninja Turtle, whatever it is, the key is to figure out form. And to do that, really, it just means practicing drawing forms, not just like this though. This is a cube, but you also want to make sure you're understanding what you're doing, because it's really easy when you're starting out as an artist to kind of go like this and maybe like this, because there's lots of tricks about how to draw a cube, but forget all those tricks because there's no tricks to it. All you have to do is think about the different sides of the form as you're drawing it. So let's say I start with the shape of a square. If I want to turn this square into a cube, I could do what I did up here, which is draw this part first and then these other planes. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to start with the back plane. And then I'm going to draw the front plane as another square kind of on top of it like this. Roughly the same size. If it's not perfect, that's okay. You can see where these corners are. I'm just going to connect those to make my cube. And then darken the lines you want to keep. That one I messed up on a little bit. These don't have to be perfect. We're just practicing. And then the stuff you don't want to keep, that stuff you can get rid of. This, the mastery of form and the thinking of what's behind something, what parts you can't see that are still there, drawing through your forms. Those are the secrets to drawing anything, really anything. If I wanted to draw, gosh, I don't know, let's say I wanted to draw like a hot dog. Now you might see some artists that will draw the hot dog, kind of, let's make him a bipedal hot dog, so he's on two legs. So some artists will kind of start, some great artists with tons of practice will do it like this, because they've got years of practice drawing forms, so they're thinking about it as they're drawing. And we'll give them a couple of legs, and some shoes, kind of like SpongeBob shoes. So, like, that's one way to do it, but if you're just starting out as an artist, or if you're having trouble getting to that next level, form is really going to help you. I'm going to start with a sphere up here, and then a sphere down here. Then I'm going to connect those two spheres with a tube like this. That is a hot dog. It's kind of it's a shape, but it's a hot dog. And by drawing those spheres through, I didn't have to try to keep my line perfect here, because that, you're going to get a lumpy, weird shape. But if you draw those spheres first and then connect them with these curves, your form looks a lot more solid. I even like to kind of figure out where the front or the middle of that form would be by going like that. And then maybe there's another guideline up here in case I want to give him eyes. And then for my bipedal hot dog, he's going to have a cylinder of a bun that wraps around him. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to figure out where I want the bun to stop and kind of where I want it to start. And then draw that cylinder all the way around him. You can see I made that cylinder kind of thick because the bun or the hot dog comes out at the top. And then that cylinder is bent, comes down like this. Because the hot dog is bent too, the cylinder's kind of bent around him. And so there's my basic hot dog shape. Then I can come around here, clean up the edges a little bit, And I don't need the whole thing. Remember earlier when I erased the parts that I didn't need, but I drew through them all anyway. So I'm going to erase this. And then I'm going to erase part of my dog here because I don't need it. And this part here. And I'm going to go back over and just draw the parts I want to keep. Like that. That. Like that. There. And then the tip of my hot dog is right there. And then his legs can go, we'll make them off the bun this time. Now notice on here I'm doing these shoes really quickly, but I'm using the same concepts. I'm drawing a circle, then another circle on top. We'll give him some arms down here. Nothing really detailed. And then a couple of eyes. Oops, I don't like that because it doesn't follow the form. There, that's better. So form is the secret to drawing things well, to drawing things better than you're doing them already. If you think about that form, let's do something I draw a lot of. Let's do a Ninja Turtle. Let's just do the head. The head always starts with this form, which is a sphere. Then it starts with another sphere, and then another one here where the nose goes, and then one more over here. You don't see this whole thing, but I'm going to draw it anyway. It's a little confusing, I know. But once you've done enough of these things, you start to simplify these forms and know where they go. Since I've got the top of his head drawn, I'm going to just put a guideline here where the eyes are going to go. And then kind of a cross one there because the eyes are going to sit right on top of the nose. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. I'm going to draw over the top and then the cheek right over here. Come down here. Same thing with this one. I'm just tracing over that sphere I drew. And then here, I'm going to make him kind of an angry turtle. I'm going to draw part of his mouth over here, but I'm just going to trace this sphere that I drew for the nose. Check it out. Just like that. Now it's important to remember that the nose overlaps this other mouth, so you wouldn't just want to go like that. You want to kind of stick it back here a little bit so it has some depth. And then I'm going to add some teeth, kind of following the form. Then when you start to erase the parts you don't need, some of that magic happens. There we go. It's looking better already, right? Erase some of this stuff. Now if you've been drawing these things long enough, anything you've drawn long enough, you start to develop your own shortcuts for it. But it's important when you're just starting out as an artist, or when you're trying to get better, to kind of go back to those basic things. So the eyes are just kind of like flat domes that sit on top of the head. And we're going to make him a little bit cross-eyed, because why not? And he's angry. So I'm going to draw the eyebrows right on top of the eyes, but I drew the entire eye so that the eyes don't look weird when I cut off the top with the eyebrows. See that? And that guideline in the middle helps me make sure the eyes are kind of placed in the right spaces. I'm going to draw more turtles for you guys later on because I know a lot of people are big turtle fans and want to see how to draw them. But this is just kind of a form-based way to draw the head. There, I like that. But I'm going to get rid of it because I don't need it. So the secret is form. So what I would do if you want to improve as an artist, just start working on forms. Just start drawing like cylinders, macaroni. There's an old animators thing where they'll try to animate a flour sack, so you can do kind of a flour sack in different positions and poses, but you want to think about that form as you're drawing the flour sack. So the flour sack isn't just a blob, it's kind of a rounded cube shape. Now I don't have a lot of tips and tricks in here because I don't think tips and tricks work for everybody. I think you develop your own tips and tricks as you draw, but I think when you're starting out as an artist, again, or if you're just trying to improve like I'm always trying to do, the best thing to do is to focus on forms. And maybe you're trying to draw, an arm or something. You might want to start just practicing forms, not worrying about proportions or anatomy or any of that stuff. Just practicing drawing one form on top of another form. And then how to make it look like parts of the form are in front of other parts of the form. I'm gonna go like this. There. We have a really simple arm. Form is the key. Form is the key. Form is the key. I see a lot of artists when they try to draw something, let's say they wanted to draw, I don't know, Wolverine, and they would start up here with this, and then kind of come down here and go like this, and then do the other part. And that's fine. You might get an okay drawing, but you're only going to have figured out how to draw Wolverine from this one perspective. Whereas if you focus on that form, you can really figure out how to draw anything from any perspective. Wolverine's got he's got a skull up here that has guidelines for where the eyes are going to go. He has a jaw that's based on kind of a cube. And then everything else kind of follows. I might be drawing him wrong because I'm not a huge Wolverine guy. Everything else kind of follows the form. His nose is there in the middle, his angry mouth. So if you can master, or even not master, just kind of grasp the idea of form, your drawings are going to turn out more solid, you're going to turn out stuff that looks better, and you're going to be able to draw just about anything you want to draw. So if I could leave you with anything from this video, it is the importance of mastering form. You can see what I'm doing here. I'm doing a really simple little SpongeBob looking guy. The importance of mastering form when you're trying to learn to draw, whether you're trying to get better at drawing, or if you just want to have an understanding of, how do they draw that? How do they make their drawings look so solid? The answer is form. Hopefully this was helpful to you guys. A little bit rambling, I know, but the key concept, focus on form. Thanks, guys.